Numbers 5 is the chapter where God cleans house, both literally and spiritually. It is not a dramatic battle or a sweeping prophecy. It is a series of practical, sometimes uncomfortable instructions to keep the camp ritually pure, morally honest, and relationally right before Him. The theme is simple. Wherever God dwells, everything unclean must be removed, everything defrauded must be restored, and everything hidden must be brought into the light. The chapter begins with a command to remove the unclean from the camp. God tells Moses to put lepers, those with certain discharges, and anyone who is ceremonially unclean outside the camp, so that the place where His presence dwells will not be defiled. This is not about health law in the modern sense. It is about holiness. The tabernacle is the center of the camp, and the camp is the home of the people. So God will not let impurity live in the same space as His presence. The people are to be clean because the God among them is holy. Then the text moves from ritual defilement to moral and relational sin. If a person sins against another, stealing, lying, defrauding, cheating, or breaking a covenant, they must confess the sin, restore what was taken, and add 1/5 to the original value. The thief is not only to give back what he stole, he is to make a penalty payment, as if paying interest on guilt. If the injured person is dead or cannot receive the payment, the money goes to the priest along with an offering for the sin. The chapter makes it clear that every offense against a brother is also an offense against God. The sin is not just horizontal, it is vertical. The camp cannot be clean if sin is left unpaid, unknown, or unconfessed. After this comes the most dramatic section of the chapter, the case of the suspected unfaithful wife. If a man is seized with a spirit of jealousy, believing his wife has committed adultery, but having no eyewitnesses, he brings her to the priest. The priest prepares a special mixture of holy water and dust from the tabernacle floor and has her drink it. The woman is also required to make an offering of barley flour, the offering of the poor, not the rich. The text is striking in its simplicity. If she is guilty, God will cause her body to suffer visible, painful consequences. If she is innocent, she will be cleared and blessed with the ability to conceive. The point is that God Himself is the judge of the hidden heart. He sees what the husband cannot see, and He will vindicate the innocent or expose the guilty. For you today, Numbers 5 is a mirror that holds up the holiness of God and the integrity of the people who claim to belong to Him. The chapter is not about arbitrary rules. It is about creating a community where impurity is not welcomed, sin is not hidden, debt is not unpaid, and God is the final judge of the unseen. The removal of the unclean from the camp is a picture of how the church is to deal with sin today. Paul will later tell the Corinthians not to tolerate ongoing, unrepentant sin in the body because it infects the whole camp. The requirement for confession and restitution is a picture of how every believer is to approach wrongs done to others, not with denial, not with delay, but with honest confession and full restoration. The ritual of the woman and the bitter water is a picture of how God sees what no one else can see, and how He will not let sin fester in the shadows. Numbers 5 also reminds you that God is fully present with His people. When God is in the center, impurity must be removed. When God is in the center, sin must be confessed. When God is in the center, every relationship must be ordered toward righteousness. The camp of Israel is not a loose confederation of individuals doing their own thing. It is a covenant family living under the eye of a holy God. So Numbers 5 leaves you with a question. If the camp of Israel was to be purified from disease, sin, and hidden adultery, because God dwelled there. How is your life being purified? Because God dwells in you. Are you willing to confess sin, to make full restitution, to live transparently, and to trust that God will vindicate what is hidden? Numbers 5 is a call to create a life and a community where nothing is tolerated that defiles the presence of God, where everything stolen is restored, and where every secret is laid before the judge who loves you enough to make it right.